morning and welcome you all. Guys, today before we start with the actual practical demonstration and learning about the Fusion application, we will be today starting with the actual class. I request and repeat again, like anybody who's still not registered for this particular enrollment program, please get in touch with the admin, get yourself enrolled. Only the enrolled participants will be added for a WhatsApp group, and the access details and all the training material will be shared with the people who has already registered with the course. Okay, guys, please touch base with the admin to get yourself enrolled today. Guys, before we will start with further discussions and actual learning and practical demonstration of the course contents and the deliverables that we are going to learn, if you have any questions related to the course or the content or the demo that we have conducted, please feel free to ask. I will be there to address. Otherwise, we can start with the actual course training, guys. Over to you guys for first 5 minutes. I would like to hear what is your like if you have any questions. Daljit, Lokesh, Maruti, Rajesh, Suraj, Vaibhav.
Hi, Piyush.
Yes.
I have enrolled for this course yesterday. So, as you mentioned, you said that we will get add into the WhatsApp group and get the access. When that is going to be done? I mean, is it today?
Naresh, that will be done. That's not an issue.
Okay.
There is a personal emergency.
Oh,
That is
okay.
the reason it has been delayed. Okay.
Okay. And the actual classes starts from today, right? I mean, I see it
Yes. Yes.
mentioned as demo only, but yeah.
Hey, hi Piyush, Vaibhav here.
Yes, Vaibhav.
Piyush, just wanted to check with you on day one. Are you going to share the course content and what we are going to, the entire schedule, or it will be like as it comes?
As you get enrolled, all the material which has been getting shared in that, all the PPTs that we have discussed and all the detailed course content is also there, which we have to be shared across with you guys. You can
I've
follow
already
all those
registered
courses.
yesterday, so I'll wait for their details. Sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey Piyush, Maruti here.
Yes,
Uh,
Maruti.
yeah, so we have the course content which talks about like model 1 to like model 11 or model 15 we have. Okay. Like, is there a way we can get to know, okay, this week we are going to this model?
No, there is no pre-planned thing, but there is a flow. Like as we are going to start with, okay. Every weekend, like I will be letting you know, or today once we are ending the class, we will be saying that okay, these are the areas, these many topics has left for this particular technology, or next we are picking it up this particular sort of technology. Okay, so it will be
Okay.
convenient, like while we are discussing, if you're a skilled professional, if you know those particular topics already, if you want to skip those particular classes, that is up to you, although we did not recommend that thing. Okay, but there are certain things like you have a domain experience into financial or something, while we are discussing and learning the topics which are more inclined towards the HCM. Okay, because although this particular training program is for entire Fusion technical, but Oracle itself has provided more tools and more functionalities, techniques for HCM module. Okay, so if HCM module offer 8 different tools, while financial and supply chain has only 3 different tools may be available, and you are not interested for HCM, you may skip if you require.
Okay.
Good morning, Piyush. Daljit here.
Yes, hi Daljit.
Yeah, I need to ask you because I missed the introductory class. So basically, I'm here for OIC. So
Okay,
is the right place?
so Daljit, from basic to advanced level, everything related to OIC. OIC consists of 4 major services. One is
Okay.
ICS, VBCS, PCS, and monitoring of the any of the task. So monitoring of any of the task is a common service. We are going to learn about those particular aspects. VBCS and PCS are a 2 different subject area that require different sort of skill set, and end to end that is not considered as a OIC. if someone is asking you that, okay, we are looking for OIC consultant, or OIC is something that we are looking for, they are looking for ICS consultant, somebody who's
Okay.
skilled into building the integration. That all will be
Okay.
covered here.
Okay. Okay. So the sign this portal, we will get the access of that, or how we will go for this
Okay, guys, I'll just report in case majority of you have similar sort of queries. So, guys, as we said that, okay, request you to get yourself enrolled. Once you enroll, all the course material, all the access for Fusion server, 5 months access, or if you are a early bird, 7 month access will be provided. Your username credentials will be provided. The access that we are going to share is a full access. There is no limitation onto that particular server that, okay, whatever the code, whatever the things that you have done, it will never go. It will majorly always available until unless if there is a planned and maintenance activities are there, which will be intimated to you well in advance. Okay, and you will be having a complete access for human capital management, financial, supply chain, whatever you want, it is available to you guys. The course material will be shared into a G drive. All the course material, PPTs, whatever the reference documents, that will be shared. All the resumes, all the interview questions, all the handwritten notes, everything which is available has been placed into the folder structure, and entire folder structure will be shared with you guys. Okay, it may be little bit delayed because of the personal emergency into our team, but this entire set of folder will be shared with you guys. Okay.
So as the documentation is as like our daily class will be documented theoretically as well, the same way which you are explaining on the daily class, or how it will be.
So Lokesh, it is more of a practical learning within the 40-50 hours things covering like 10 to 15 different sort of application, their uses, advantages, their linkage, OIC as well. We are more focusing onto the practical demonstration. Okay, all the things we are explaining while using the practical demonstration, building the technical component and explaining the things. But these documentations that we are going to share is for your references. Once you go through with these particular videos, practice the things. If while you are preparing for the interviews, it might not be convenient for you to go through the 1 hour to 5 hour sort of videos, but you can refer these particular documentations, PPT slide, wherever it is required that we have to build the concept by explaining the theory or some different ways. We will be using and referring or writing a fresh notes for you to explain those concepts. Okay.
Right. So the navigation and screenshots will be documented, or only by using the video session only we need to practice, or by using the documents itself we can practice.
It may be mostly documented into the PPT, but it is not something very complex thing like you have not been able to remember the thing. Within 1 class or 2 class, you will be able to remember all the navigations for each of the tool once we are working with. Okay. Because for each of the things we will be having minimum 2, 3, 4 sessions for each of the technology. Like BIP, we have more than 5 different sessions. We are being creating different sort of concept. Regularly we are going and navigating, and I will be repeating those sort of navigation basic steps. So by the end of the ending of that particular topic, 30, 40, 50% of the basic information that is required, that you are a skilled professional having 2 years, 3 years of experience into that technology, you will be remembering those steps or points by heart. No need to refer anything for those sort of things. Okay.
Piyush, like when you are
Yes, Weber.
specific logic, a specific concept, right? And we would practice it later on the access we have. If we have any doubts for the doubt clearing session, would we set up a one-on-one or we discuss during the class time?
See, it's very rarely that, okay, if you have a batch of 20 people, like everyone is having a different things. If required, we can provide. Otherwise, whatever the issues that you may be facing, generally it's like a small miss from your side or some property missing or something. Whatever your issues that you're facing, we will address during the class time. Okay. Or even if that is required one-on-one before the class or after the class also, we can connect for some time. Okay.
Thank you.
Hi, I have two questions. One, all the topics that have been listed in the curriculum of this technical course will be deeply covered, right? Hello?
Yes, Raisha.
Yeah, so my question is the topics that have been listed to be covered for this technical course will be covered in depth, right?
I answered yes.
Okay. And second, do you also provide assistance like if we are facing issues with the ongoing live projects that we are currently working on? So will you be able to help us on that?
So
On
Raisha, as
technical
I said
side?
that okay, that is what I'm saying. In the PPT itself, I have mentioned that okay, just be a student first. Okay, you doesn't know the subject. You are here to learn about the subject. You are not here to learn and practically implement and use these particular concepts into your live projects. If you want to use, yes, definitely you are supposed to use. But in this community learning, you cannot apply those particular discussions and a solution. This is not a solution providing sort of classes. Okay, you have to first learn about the subject, understand the subject, practice the things. You have to do the things at your own, fail yourself, and then I will be here to provide you a guidance and right sort of directions to look on for those particular sort of best solutions for you. Okay, yes, on a critical needs, in a situation where you have stuck, you have some sort of emergencies or something, you may request as per the time permits and as per if the things are related to those particular topics and beneficial for the group, we may discuss your specific queries also. Okay, but rest assured, I believe like 90 to 95% of real-time problem in each of the subject area that we are going to work upon has been already covered. So you will be getting a fair idea to learn through and apply and utilize those particular concepts into your real world programs. Okay. Charan, Swati, Santosh, KR, Nadeem, we are good. Guys, you are getting my voice. Shall we proceed? Do you have any other questions?
No doubt.
Suraj, Venkat, Nayan, Mohammed, Rajesh.
Yeah, all good.
Okay. Fine, guys. So please be rest assured that everything has been accessible to you. Everything has been provided. The interview questions, handwritten notes, the PPTs, the server access, everything will be provided. It's just a time of 1 day or 2 days, and you should not need to worry about 1 or 2 days of overlap. Does not impact you because it is being very basic things that we are going to discuss and work upon. Guys, please make sure that okay, whenever and wherever it is required, I know what is supposed to be teach across. Okay, you should need to trust me that I am going to provide you the best training experience and learning experience that you should be able to claim yourself as a fusion technical consultant who's not just a trained consultant, but you somebody who's going to have a real-time experience. Okay. The second thing is that before we start upon, if you have any experience more specifically to EBS and people, so please forget about your experience. Do not start comparing those things. Fusion is something different and EBS is something different. EBS is like you already know how to drive a car, and Fusion is something you are here to learn how to fly the aeroplane. Okay, so if you are becoming a pilot and you are still comparing that okay, while driving you have this clutch plate, you have a gear or something, that is not going to help you out and it will unnecessarily confuse you. Okay, I understand that there is a curiosity. I understand that okay, you might be having a prior experience, you need to compare the thing, understand the things. Wherever and whatever the things which are required to compare, I will put it across those particular sort of examples to you. Okay, clear guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Second
Yes.
thing, guys. Second thing, guys. I am I am here to address your queries. I love to address your queries, any sort of doubts, but please stick to the topic. Okay, if we are discussing something in VIP, somebody may be working an expert into handling the security. We are just learning supposed to how to build the report, and unnecessary if you bring across those particular topics that okay, how we are going to schedule, how we are going to migrate, how we are going to suppose handle the security of the reports or something. Definitely these are the real-time concepts. Please stick to the topic. Each topic may require 2 classes, 3 classes, 7 classes. Once I'm going to conclude that okay, this particular topic is done, we are not going to discuss on this particular topic and we are done with this particular topic. If anything is unturned, if anything real-time concept which is unturned, okay, please keep a note of those things while we are discussing those particular topic. Like today we are discussing about the scheduling. In case the scheduling concept which I'm explaining, whatever the possibilities and key combinations, if something is left and you have the queries, please ask. Okay, but it will be not appropriate that okay, the concept which we have not discussed yet or the concept which is not related to that topic, and if we put it across those sort of questions. Okay, clear guys? That is a fair expectations that I'm setting across, and expecting each one to follow that particular sort of thing. Okay,
Okay.
fine guys, as it is clear yet no more questions are around there, so let's start with the actual Fusion technical training. Guys, you are able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not sure
Yes,
why
yes.
I'm not able to come to my desktop. Just a second.
So Piyush, all these sessions are recorded and they will be uploaded onto the same G drive you are going to share, right?
There is no G drive for the session, guys. There is a e-learning portal. We already have our own e-learning portal. Daily sessions will be updated there. Okay. Guys, 99.99% there will be no sessions that we have not recorded, but I request each one of you to be very careful and focused and being the self-volunteer. In case by mistake, if we have not recorded the session, if this button, this green button of recording is not there, please let us know and I will immediately start the recording. That will rarely happen that I forgot to start the recording, but please be vigilant to see that okay, recording has been started. Okay, clear guys?
Yeah.
Fine guys, so let's begin our learning. So as we said that okay, we are going to learn about Fusion Technical as well as OIC. There has been 2 division of this particular training. One as a Fusion Technical Consultant, whatever the tools, techniques that we are available to learn about. And the second thing is OIC, why we have designed this particular course, which is a combination of Fusion Technical and OIC, because this is a hot cake. Lot of the companies that they are looking for, they are looking for a skilled OIC consultant who should be proficient to build the integrations interface across between multiple applications so that the communication of application can happen, the data exchange from one application to second application can access, so that once the data has been exchanged, the second application can read through the data, process the data and do the meaningful action in that application. But majorly what we have found that okay, once there is an integration, once 2 or more applications are being involved, out among these 2 or more application, one of the source application mainly that is we are working upon is Fusion. So if the data has to be coming out from the Fusion to be sent it across to maybe SAP application, Workday application, Twitter application, LinkedIn application, different application may be there, or the data is coming from some external application that must need to be pushed to one of the source application. So what is the source application? Source application is a Fusion. So what we have identified that among various application, one central application or one central force of the application is Fusion. Most of the time there is a Fusion application. So it is good that okay, whatever the different ways and techniques that are available to extract the data from Fusion or to insert the data into the Fusion, how to navigate, how to learn about the Fusion. If you know the Fusion also and if you know the OIC, it is a perfect combination of a consultant that you could get easily placed and achieve your career aspirations by claiming and selling yourself as a OIC consultant having with the Fusion technical experience. Clear? So that is the reason guys, with thorough market research and as per the business requirements, different sort of organization requirements, the kind of recruitment that are happening, by collaborating the requirements from the corporate training that we are going to conduct for various of the biggest MNC. That's how we have come up with this particular course content, where we are covering everything from the Fusion technical standpoint as well as from the OIC standpoint. Okay, guys, please understand that, okay, these trainings that we are going to do, the software that we are going to work upon, these particular softwares are something called, these are the pre-built softwares. Okay, we are not going to learn to build any software. Oracle is the company, they have their own product called Fusion, and Fusion has been sold like it is a web-based software. Once the companies who's going to purchase the Fusion as a ERP software, they will be provided with this particular URL. Every company has their own purchasing. After purchasing, Oracle will issue some sort of URL to the company. Okay, URL, and this URL will be followed by some sort of username password. As you are going to access through your Gmail, Netflix account or Amazon account, same way this is your account. This is the URL of the application which will be provided. Once you access this particular URL, the URL is still this. Okay, once you access this particular URL into any of your browser client, you will be landing into a login screen. You will be provided with your username password. Once we put it across our username password, and that's how we will pass the username password to authenticate ourselves, and we will be logging into the system. That's how we will be landing into the Fusion application. This is the home screen of the landing page, and in this landing page, if you see that, okay, this black bar is there, this is the global bar that we have. All the applications, all the screens that you're going to access, this global bar will be always there into the screen to give you the basic navigations of the application. Okay, so guys, once you use the username, password, and the URL using the internet facility, using the web browser, the first thing, the uniqueness of this particular applications, once you have the username, password, you are free to access this application at one place, 5 place, 10 place, it doesn't matter. Okay, you can access the application to perform your real-time work from your laptop, from your multiple laptop, from your desktop, from your iPad, from your mobile phone. So that is the ease that Oracle Fusion is providing. If you compare these particular sort of facility with Oracle EBS and all, that is not available. Okay, second thing, guys, suppose you have accessed this application, this is your username, password. As you are accessing Gmail, you can open Gmail multiple places in multiple browsers. The same way you can access this application into multiple tabs, multiple browsers at the same time. In this tab, we are standing into the landing page, while in this tab, we are standing into some different pages. Okay, so it is convenient for you, to the users, that you can access the same application multiple time, multiple pages, multiple browsers at the same time, and start comparing and performing your work with ease of accessibility. You does not need to switch, or you should not need to focus onto one particular screen. At one time you are working onto one screen which is to hire an employee, and the second time you are working onto another screen which is supposed to create a supplier or add a supplier sort of functionality. Clear? Next, guys, once we are landing into the Fusion application, what we will be going to access, we see that, okay, there is a home button. Wherever you are standing, it doesn't matter which page you are accessing, there is a home button. If you want to come back out of that particular page, that page may be first page, inside that another page, inside that another page, and you have to revert back directly to the home button. What you are supposed to do, click onto this home button. This home button will take and bring you back to the home screen directly. This is the home button. Guys, there has been different sort of access. Once the person Kala.Kevin has logged in into the system, he may be authorized to do some sort of activities based on those particular access. Like he's working as a payroll manager, he's working as an HR manager, he's working as a procurement manager, he's working as a financial head. Based on the roles that this particular person is holding, there may be different sort of functionality, different sort of screens, different sort of access has been provided, and accordingly he is supposed to get. Once the Kala.Govin login into the application, he will be provided with these sort of tabs, different sort of functionality. Each tab may be having different sort of screens or sub screens that the person should be able to access and perform the respective job profile and work as per their job profile. Okay. Clear, guys?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So guys, what does happen if you are from the EBS background? Please note that whatever the comparisons are required, okay, that is I am going to explain. And guys, most of the ways that my teaching methodologies, like I understand what could be the possible interview questions for this particular topic, what could be your level of understanding, what will be your doubts. So over a period of experience, all those things I'm going to address whenever there is a sort of discussions or something that I am going to explain in a theoretical concept, whether it's by PPT or through by some sort of Excel, through by some sort of handwritten notes. Please try to focus and learn through that. I am going to cover each and every concept in detail. If we are committed that, okay, we are going to have 40-50 hours of hands-on practical discussions and the practical training, guys, that is a commitment that we have. In addition to that, as per the group, as per your knowledge, as per your requirement, whatever the additional things that I am going to offer you in concepts of building a concept, in terms of explaining you the concept theoretically and all, that is an add-on sort of thing. So please go through and enjoy those particular sort of learning experience through the concept building standpoint as well. Okay, Narsima, I will take your queries. Allow me some time. I will take your queries in some time. Okay. So guys, what has happened in EBS? If guys, anyone who's from the EBS background,
Yes.
or
Yes.
mostly you are from the EBS background, guys, and you are transitioning yourself from EBS to Fusion. Can I consider that?
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody who's not from the EBS background or Oracle background?
I'm from the functional
That
Piyush.
is okay. That is okay. That doesn't matter whether functional, non-functional. Guys, anybody who's known IT background person, so that if we don't have any known IT, we will plan and discuss the things in more efficient way, because we should need to skip those sort of rule sets or explanation. Nobody is there in the group which is known IT, right?
Yeah, I am from IT, but different technology, not from.
That is okay. IT means like you at least know that okay, there is a release, there is a migration. These terminologies I'm not supposed to explain you in detail, right? You know the life cycle of a software development life cycle. You know what does we mean, what is client, what is the downtime, what is maintenance activity. These things you already know, right?
Right.
Fine, guys. So guys, anybody who's less than 3 years of experience in the group? Fine, guys. Guys, anybody who's more than 15 years of experience in the group?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay. Guys, somebody who's having 6 to 8 years experience? Guys,
Yes.
everyone is following and understand what is Oracle. Everyone has a little bit background here and there about database and Oracle as a company. Everyone knows that. You may be from
Yes.
Java background, .NET background, C# background, Python background, SQL, PL, SQL developer background. Everyone knows the basic understanding of the coding, like a little bit C, C++, writing a hello world program, like what is data type, what is variable, what is like a sort of print statement, logs, comments. These sort of concepts everyone knows in their respective languages, what they are working upon.
Yeah.
Yes,
Fine,
Piyush.
guys.
I'm
So
sorry.
it will be
I'm sorry. I'm from the functional. I'm not familiar with this. The writing the codes.
Narasimhan, this particular training is not of a coding sort of things. Very rarely we are using a coding, only one tool that requires a coding, and we will be providing you hands-on basics and the fundamentals for that as well. Don't worry on that. Okay. So guys, here what is the concept that I'm trying to say, that okay, suppose you are going to work and log in into the application based on your access level, based on the role that you're going to play, you will be having a different sort of access. Based on your access, you will be able to access different sort of these particular sections. In each of these sections, you will be able to see different sort of functionality. Guys, what we used to call this particular thing, this dashboard we used to call as a springboard. As per the new latest version of the Fusion, this once we landing into a home page, we will be accessing the pages through a springboard. This is called springboard, and under this springboard, guys, these are called tiles. Different sort of tiles are there which we can go and access. Clear? Guys, some of the pages, as per your experience, as per your sort of work profile that you're supposed to work upon, these tiles may be visible, but maybe there has been more and more sort of pages that are supposed to be accessible. You go to any module, there will be quick actions. You can access sort of these things from here also, or under that there is a show more. Once you click on to show more, there may be hundreds and thousands of different pages that may be available and accessible for performing different sort of work. Okay, guys, please do not get confused. Since I am having a admin access, that is the reason I am having so many of these headings, subheadings, and different sort of pages and functionality from the functional perspective. So we are not going to learn and focusing on to each of these pages and all, but just for your understanding, so that you will be getting familiar with the application, how to navigate through the application, and what are these particular sort of tiles, subtiles, and functionalities. Clear? Clear, guys? Guys, anybody who's from the financial or supply chain sort of background? Functional, non-functional, technical, non-technical, Oracle, non-Oracle. Financial background, guys.
Yeah,
Financial or supply chain.
I'm financial consultant, functional consultant, finance side. I will.
Fine. So Nasima, what has happened? If you are logging into the system, you have your own user, your administrator, your company administrator will give you to work on to the financial related activities. So you will be provided maybe some sort of role. Maybe the role name is Fusion Financial Functional Consultant. This is the role. Once you have this particular role assigned to your user, once you log in into your application, based on that particular role, if you are supposed to work on to different sort of tasks, like you are supposed to work on to creating a receipts, you are supposed to create a general entry, you are supposed to create some sort of task which are related to the financial module, those sort of tags may be available, and under those tags, those sort of screens and tiles will be available to you automatically. Clear?
Yeah.
Guys, the same thing that we are going to access from here, the same things is available here. These three little bars are there. We used to call it as a navigator. Once we click onto the navigator, some window will open, some pop-up window will open. All the things which are listed here, like me, my teams, my client groups, and under my client groups, various pages are there. All those pages has been listed there, which you can access simply from accessing the application. There is no discrimination whether you will be accessing the page from navigator and going to the person management, and whether you are accessing directly from the springboard and going to the tile of the person management. Okay. Guys, generally this is a cloud-based application. Everything has been accessible onto the internet through the browser. Generally, you won't see any lags or something. In case you are seeing any lag, please understand this is a learning sort of server. This is not a fully fledged with the very sort of high configuration server. That is the reason there may be certain pages or functionalities or certain technologies that we are going to learn may be having some lag, but in a real-time project, it may not be having those sort of lags into the actual client projects. Okay, guys, here once we accessing one particular screen, understand it is very important for you, as we said that okay, as a technical consultant, once you are supposed to load the data or you are supposed to extract the data from the Fusion, you have to validate that okay, rights of data has been inserted, right sort of data has been extracted. Like suppose you have extracted the new hire report. The new hire report may be extracting 200 records in that report. But for 1 or 2 or 5 records, you will come validate from the front end that okay, that person is actually existing into the system or not system. If the phone number which we are extracting is the right phone number which has been tagged to the employee or not. If the person that we are hiring to be included into the report is actually a newly hired employee which is hired into the month of April or not. Because you should need to validate, okay, that report is only fetching the hired employees which has been hired in the month of April, not after April and not before April. Clear? So guys, for different sort of functionalities, we are not going to learn about each and every screen, but the focus areas that we should need to understand how the system is designed, how the different screens are there, and what are the different sections, how using those particular screens we will be able to search those particular business object, how to see the details of those business object, how to edit and how to delete those sort of business object. So guys, there you may be of various sort of background, maybe financial, supply chain, or HCM. So for any of these particular module, there may be different business object. Any of the business object, if you access through, there may be some screen for business object called creating a supplier. There may be a business object to hire an employee or search an employee. There may be some screen for creating a account receivables receipts or something. So guys, the general background, the uniformity of the application is for any of the business object, majority of the time the screen will be something like that, which is having two major section. One is the search section with certain fields. In those fields you can put it across some sort of data, and guys, with some sort of data along with some sort of wildcards, like you want to list down all the person number which are starting with 100 percentage means first 3 characters should be 100. After that we don't know, we don't care what will be the number, because we don't actually remember the person number. That's how under the search section of any of the screen you can put it across some search criteria, click onto the search, and based on the search criteria, if the record exists, that will be listed down under the below section, which is the result section, which is one of the table which has been provided to you guys. Let's wait to see how the records has been extracted. See guys, this is how the based on our search criteria, the record has been listed down here. Is it clear guys as of now?
Yes.
Okay, so guys, you can see that okay, there are two sections. One is the search section, which is having some sort of fields. You can put it across those particular fields to filter the data. Once you filter the data based on the criteria, some data has been shown to you into the result section. Guys, first thing that we have seen that okay, we have to work on to extract the data. How and what we are going to extract based on the search that we are going to do, based on the result that we are going to receive into a table format. You see majority of the screens is having this small icon, this Excel sort of icon is there, which is going to give you export to Excel. One sort of way, the manual, the easiest way to extract the data, search the data, and if you're interested, you find the data that you're interested in based on the criteria that you have passed it across. You click onto this and it will extract this data into an Excel format, which you can share across with the business, with the third-party application, or for any sort of purpose, any sort of uses. But guys, this is very manual way based on the UI. You have not done anything, you have not done utilize any sort of techniques that we are going to actually learn as a technical consultant. But it is the one of the easiest way to extract the data. But what it is going to extract, only the fields which are displayed here into the search criteria will be only extracted into an Excel format. Clear?
Yes, please.
Guys, in any of the screen that you are able to see, these are the search criteria. You put it across, there is a output criteria. All these fields you can see some sort of interactions are there. These small icons are coming up to sort the data. If you click onto this, the data will be sorted into a ascending or descending orders. Okay, that's how you can use these particular utilities. You can access the record, like suppose this is one of the employee you want to access, you can directly go first thing, like whether it's a employee or you are into the purchase order screen, you are onto a receipt screen, you are onto a supplier screen, the result, the first column mostly is a hyperlink. Once you click onto that particular hyperlink, it will take you to the drill down screen, which will give you more details about the employee, about the supplier, about the purchase order, about the receipt which has been created into the system. Clear?
Yes.
Guys, in any of this particular window, you are allowed that, okay, suppose 5 or 6 columns has been represented. You want to add 4 new columns. Click here. There is a field called column. Once you see onto the column, there may be some list of columns that are not visible by default, but you want to show. You can click onto those particular columns and those columns will be listed down for you. Like system person type was not there and I have added. Now, since I have added this column, if now I am exporting this data is going to include this particular column also. Earlier file will not include this particular column. Guys, you does not want certain columns to be displayed like national identifier. You does not want to display. Come here, go to the columns, search for that particular column and unhide or uncheck that particular column. That column will be removed from the display list. Okay. Guys, action is something like based on the results that you are going to get, you want to perform some sort of actions. Majority of the times for certain screens, like the actions that you want to do, like you want to edit this record, you want to delete this record, you want to suppose create a new record. For that, above this particular table being the actions are available here, edit, delete, and plus symbol is there. If that particular business objects allows you to create or delete or modify, those sort of buttons are there. By clicking onto those buttons, if you want to click on add, a new blank page will open up with some fields. Some fields are mandatory, some fields are non-mandatory. You can put it across the data for those particular fields and save and submit the transaction, and transaction will be saved into the system. If you have been allowed to edit, you will choose that particular record and you click on to edit. That record will open up into a form, into an edit mode. You can replace the values of any of the field as you require and save it, and the data will be saved. The new data will be saved. Guys, if the business component is allowed to be deleted, there is a delete button. You select the row, click on to delete, and the record will be deleted. Clear? So guys, for those particular business object, these are the activities that we are going to perform. Who's going to perform? The end user, the business user is going to perform these particular sort of actions, and these actions will be performed whatever these actions which are being getting performed by the business user, end user, or the functional user, these are called transactions. Somebody is trying to create a new position, somebody is trying to update a position, somebody is trying to hire an employee, somebody is going to promote an employee, some HR may be trying to do some different actions. All these actions, all these data manipulations which are going to be captured and happening from the front end by the business user, as a technical consultant, we are going to support to extract this data into a meaningful manner as per the business requirement by building some sort of report through different sort of techniques like BIP, OTBA, HCM extract. Same way, if business says that, okay, I want to create a 10 employees into the system, for creating one employee into the system, it requires half an hour. But through techniques, I know that, okay, 100 employees can be created maybe in 1 hour. So they come back to you that as a functional consultant, as a business consultant, we need a support from technical team to help us to do bulk data operations, bulk data loading, and we are supposed to support them to do those particular sort of actions. Okay.
It is very difficult to make a note with your explanation. You are too fast. Piyush.
How
You
you
are
are going, how you are making a note? Tell me.
just taking
I
a
can
pen.
help you.
I can take
No,
the book.
No, Narsima. First of all, these are very basic things. These repeated things I am going to cover for next 2 months. You does not require these sort of understanding. These are very basic building blocks. Okay. You does not require to make a note of these things. Secondly, do not make a note from pen and pencil. Search Google. Search for some sort of tutorial like AI based note sort of tools. You register from some freeware tools. Okay. Once the training has started, start your recording of that notes sort of things are there. That will automatically take the notes for you. You have the option to click some portion, some screenshot, and automatically it will get added into that. I'll just show something.
I got you. I got it. But what I felt it is without gap it was going. That is what I felt it. Maybe others is comfortable, or maybe I need
Gap
some time
means
to adjust it. Yeah.
fine. I will slow down my pace a little bit. Okay. So
Thank you.
guys, if you are able to understand this particular thing, like suppose a search functionality, once you find the results, once you click onto this, you will be landing into more details about that particular business object. That business object may be the person, maybe supplier, maybe purchase order, same sort of functionality is there. You click onto this, you will be landing into a page which will give you more details. This page that you're going to see, that is non-editable page. It will just reflect and show you the details that has been already filled about that particular purchase order or employee. Okay, see, these are the details about this particular employee. The moment you access the employee, it will give you the person details, what is the legal employer, what is the job grade position of the employee, okay, what is whether the employee is a regular full-time, what is the start time, end time. These sort of basic details are coming up, and for each of those particular pages, most of the time you will see a option called edit option. Once you click onto the edit option, guys, sometime what you have seen under the result screen itself, there is a delete button. You can delete the record. Sometime it is not allowed to delete outside. It is up to how Oracle has designed the screens. Mostly the uniformity is there, but certain business object for which the delete option or something may be not available or available inside, not outside. Okay, guys, if you want to delete the record, you can delete the record. In case you want to correct the record, that's something you have done. Okay, you have by mistake put across the position as sales representative and R is small. You want to make it correct as a capital, or in that case you will come and add it into a correction mode. Or suppose you want to update the record. Update is something that, okay, the person has been hired and working as a sales representative. He is working as a sales representative for January 2021 till today, and from tomorrow onwards, this person has been promoted from sales representative to senior sales representative. So you want to update the record, keeping the history of the record that, okay, from this to this time period, the person is working as a sales representative, and from this to this time period, the person may be working as a senior sales representative, and from this to this particular time period, the person is working as a chief sales representative, something like that. Clear?
Yeah, please.
So guys, it is very important that you should understand the concept of date tracking. Date tracking is very important concept, especially in terms of Fusion HCM. Guys, date tracking is nothing that, okay, within the start of one particular start date to end date. Suppose there is an employee who has joined and that employee has a name as Swati Arora. Okay, the person has joined your organization on 1st Jan 2021 and the name of the employee is Swati Arora, and on 23rd August 2023 this employee is getting married, and after married her name has changed to Swati Bansal or maybe Swati Arora Bansal. So guys, what has happened is specifically in the human capital management, there are certain business objects which are time tagged. Like if we see that, okay, Swati Arora, the PF that we are going to generate, the Swati Arora is going to willing and want to download his experience letters, want to download her pay slip for the year called maybe December 2022 or maybe January 2023. What name should need to be printed? What sort of any communication that is going to happen with the Swati Arora in the day of December 2022 the name should need to come as Swati Arora. But from effective from 23rd August 2023, her name has changed from Swati Arora to Swati Arora Bansal. So going forward, all the communications, all the letters which are going to be issued, all the salary slip that is going to issue, what name it is supposed to have? Sorry guys, it is supposed to have Swati Arora or Swati Arora Bansal. It is going to have a Swati Arora Bansal. Clear? Like suppose guys, you have joined the organization. You joined as the organization as an assistant manager. After working as an assistant manager, effective from 1st Jan 2022, you have become the manager into the organization. On 23rd August 2023, you have become the senior manager into the organization. So if I ask you, what was the initial designation at what you have joined the or being hired into the organization? You will say, I have joined the organization as an assistant manager. If I ask you, what was the designation of your employment with your employer on 15th of August 2022. Guys, what is your designation on 15th August 2022? Guys, you're there with me?
Manager.
So how you have figured it out? Because you have the start date. This is the start date. And this is the end date. Like within this particular time period, within this particular time period, we have the date range. Within this date range, our designation is this. Within this date range, our designation is this. And within this date range, like from 23rd August 23 onwards till end of the time. Till now, our designation is senior manager only. So that there is no end date available into the system for timing, right? Right, guys?
Right.
So this is the concept of a date tracking. Most specifically, once you're working on to building the reports, fetching the data, suppose there is a table, that table contains the designation of the employee, and you're building the report to get the person number of the employee. There is a report, your manager wants to have a person number, email address of the employee, and there is a designation of the employee. So if suppose there is a table that contains and lists down the designation of the employee, you build some query and get you the data to represent into a report. Guys, you tell me which designation should need to be there for this employee. You need to tell that, okay, this particular employee 101 is working as assistant manager or senior manager or manager. What is the point in the real-time data that you're going to address to the business for their decision making, and you represent 103 as an assistant manager? Is the 101 is still working as an assistant manager in current date? No, right?
Right.
So guys, that is what we are going to learn across once we are building the query, once we are building the report. For specifically for the human capital management, we have to specifically take care that, okay, there are tables for those table for one single employee. This all data belongs to one employee. This all data belongs to one employee, 10. The person number is 10. But for the person number 10, 3 records are there. These two are the past dated record. This is the latest record. Which record is important for you? The latest record is important to you, that you should need to fetch and reutilize into your reports. Clear?
Yes, right.
Guys, any issues with the date tracking concept? You clear with the date tracking?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Fine, guys. So guys, if you are going to learn about this date tracking, and if you know the basic sort of functionalities, how to navigate to the application, then guys, what are happening? There is a end users. Okay, there are end user into the application who are working into this particular software on daily basis, and they are supposed to perform some sort of DML operations, some transactions they are supposed to work. Some transactions are getting done into the system. What are those transactions? Guys, like hiring an employee, terminating the employee, and maybe promoting an employee, maybe transferring an employee, adding a bank account to the employee, okay, running the salary for the employee, or sending the salary, processing the salary for the employee, like creating a purchase order, creating the invoice, creating a supplier, updating a supplier, adding a new item, adding a new product. All these sort of things are being getting done by the business users using the front end application. Okay, and as a technical consultant, through the tools and techniques that we are going to learn, we may be called, we may be advised, or we may be requested to support the business user to get the same sort of work done by our tools and techniques. What is the purpose? Why they are looking for that? Okay, technical person will come and do the work which they can do from the front end, because to bring more sort of accuracy, to bring more efficiency, to save time. Clear? And to maybe automate the things, something that is the purpose, that okay, the technical consultants are required to assist the business user, to assist the functional user, to assist the implementation project, support project, enhancement project, in terms of to bring more sort of accuracy. Guys, suppose there has been 100 purchase order are supposed to be created, and each purchase order that is supposed to be created requires 100 fields to be filled across. Those 100 fields should be spread across 5 different pages. Each pages may be having maybe 5 different sections that the person should need to navigate, click, go to one particular field at a time, type in the data and do the things. It may not be convenient for them. It may not be time effective, that okay, the user will be creating a data from front end, and there may be a possibility of some manual errors if person is clicking and typing in the data, while that can be overwritten while if technical consultant has been called to support them through their techniques. Okay, fine guys.
Yes, Fish.
So guys, that is the main role of a technical consultant. And if you again come back to the Fusion application, guys, here you can see the things which are coming into a readable mode. You want to add it, you can click into correct mode. Once you click onto the correct mode, entire page will open up into a correct mode where you can make the changes as per your requirement. Okay, suppose you see that here the person is a full-time employee. You want to make the changes to the full-time to regular or something. There is no work category added. You want to add a work category, you add this category and you will click on save. There are certain fields which are mandatory. Okay, select those particular fields. Guys, any fields which are marked with the star, that is mandatory field. Any field for which the business has already defined some values to be select upon, you will see those fields are like these sort of pop list are coming. You are not allowed to select true or false here. Only two applicable values which are possible, that is yes or no only. Clear? There are certain fields which are free text where you can type in the value. That is also possible. There are certain fields which will accept a value into a date type. So this sort of date time picker is available. You should be clicking onto this, select the dates, and that's how the date will be selected into this particular sort of forms. So guys, by looking into this particular form, why I am explaining this particular form, while you are loading the data, you have to load the data and validate that, okay, suppose you have loaded 100 implies, whether 1 or 2 implies, you will come to the front end and validate that, okay, that implies loaded successfully, the phone number of that implies successfully loaded and displayed, email address is in right place, the date field is a date field, text field is a text field. And guys, sometime what you want that, okay, while loading the data, like suppose a regular full-time part-time field is there, you are passing some value true or false maybe, but system does not allow us to load the value as true and false, because the system gives that, okay, for that particular field there is some LOV, some sort of lookup value is being assigned, and that will accept only the value of Yes and no. So to sometime as a functional consultant is not around and you need to validate what are the valid values which can be passed while loading the data, you can search for those particular screens, edit the things and check that, okay, for this particular thing, no and yes are the valid values that you should need to pass across while you are preparing the data. Okay.
Piyush,
Clear?
yeah, Piyush, we are able to edit or update here in this page, what you are editing. Is that only technical consultant is work or functional consultant work?
No, this is
Or
not a
both?
technical consultant work.
Okay.
This is not at all technical consultant work. This is the very basic fundamentals that I'm explaining. Like as a functional consultant, this has to be done by the functional consultant. Functional consultant will also do the work at the time of implementation, testing, and doing the things at a one time and educating the end user, the actual user of the application. Suppose Reliance is the company who has purchased this particular software. They have hired TCS. TCS has a set of trained consultants. Some are functional consultants, some are technical consultant. So functional consultant will configure the system, taking up the requirement from the Reliance and make the system ready for them. And they will hand over the system to the Reliance. Reliance may be having their own internal IT department or their HR department, procurement department, where there may be some managers, assistant manager, clerks, VPs. They are working. Each of these users has to do some sort of work as per their assigned job profile. So they will log in into the system. Suppose somebody is there to hire the employee. He's a recruiter. He's supposed to hire the employee. Whosoever the person who has been finalized and offer has been released and the person is coming to join the organization, there is a HR department. In that there is a one user who's a recruiter. He's supposed to log in into the application and create all those user entries of the newly hired employee. This is supposed to be done by the end user. Okay. Why we are learning that as we are working into the technical concepts, we does not need to always rely on to the functional consultant or to the business user. Sometime if you know the basic functionality, if you know how to traverse to the screen, if you know how to edit the screen and see what are the valid values for one particular field, so that's how you can track and that's how you can prepare your data files to upload the data. Okay.
Okay, if we are generating one report, on that report, some gender is missing. If that gender is missing, we are
So
directly.
that is suppose you have been asked to work onto the people master report, that whatever the employees get me the first name, last name, their address, their email address, phone number, their marital status, their gender details, like these sort of details. You prepare the report, you get the output. Your report is going to give you 100 records. Okay, everything is working fine. You thought that okay, everything is fine. But as a technical consultant, once you build the report, you have to validate and you need to do the unit testing also, right? So you identify it out of those particular 100 records, you identify 2-3 sample records and you validate those particular records which are coming into your report from the front end, checking that all the fields which are there are perfectly matched and coming into the report. Suppose for 2 of the test cases, the gender field is coming blank. Why it is coming blank? You will come and validate it is coming blank because there is no issue with your report, but there is no data into the system, right? So to ensure that okay, if the data is there, whether the report is going to fetch you the data or not, either you will report back to the business consultant or to the functional user that okay, please edit this report and add the gender, and I will run the report again to see whatever that you're going to pass will be reflected into my report or not. Clear? Otherwise, if you know the navigation, if you have the access for doing your basic unit testing, you will come, navigate, edit the record, add the value of a gender, save it, and then again run the report to see that okay, whatever the data which was not coming earlier should be coming now. Okay.
Yeah, you mean to say that is actually functional consultant work.
Yes.
We have to inform them.
Yes, but over a period of time, as I said, that okay, no technical person is just a technical person. You have to be a techno-functional. Slowly and steadily, you will be learning, working onto different reports, what are the different screens are available, how to edit, how to navigate. Slowly and steadily, by delivering your work itself, you will be getting to learn about different sort of screens, different sort of navigation. So you can claim that okay, you are a techno-functional, 95% technical, 5% functional, 10% functional, 15% function. That's how you will be building your competency into the functional screens navigations also. Okay. Guys, once you get the requirement from the functional person is meeting the business user is selling that, okay, I want this sort of report. So guys, it is not your job. You are not facing the customer. The functional person is going to face the customer. What functional people will do, why you need a report, what is the benefit of the report, they will decide that, okay, functional people will say that, okay, this report is available, not available, feasible, not feasible. Okay, they will take the requirement, they will say what columns are required, in which order is required, what is the data format, what is the output format. Everything functional people will get from the business. They only prepare the documentation for you. What is that documentation called? That is called functional design document. Okay, clear?
Yeah, sometime, but a technical consultant only deal with that end client to take requirement.
Yes, exception is already is there, always there. It is up to your company, your client, your structure, okay, your experience, your sort of reputation with your customer. Sometimes you are directly facing. I'm telling that, okay, as a technical consultant, you will be handing over the functional design document that will list down all the details what you are supposed to work upon and build upon. It is like functional consultants should need to express and explain you the requirement. They should need to navigate you to the screens. They should need to give you the sample cases that, okay, these are the two sample implies for which we have prepared all the data. You work on to prepare the report and focus that, okay, these implies data should need to come. Whatever the 10 fields that we are expecting, we have already prepared the data. You write your code to fetch this data. Once you write the code and fetch this data, you will report back that, okay, my report is ready. And for these two sample cases, I found that, okay, all the 10 columns which has been expected to fetch are coming and fetching the data. Then they will validate this data. Either they will validate or you will validate. If you have the knowledge of the navigation, you will validate from the front end. If everything is fine, you will revert back that, okay, I am ready. I have done the unit test also. And this component is ready to be released to the business for doing the unit testing. Okay. Then business will do the unit testing. They will validate if the component is as per their expectation. They will give you the sign off and you are supposed to work on to migrate the component to the production. If there are certain changes expected, they will again come back to you that, okay, change this logic, add this particular scenario. Okay, this record is coming fine, but this record is missed. You will ask that, okay, this record is missed because you said that, okay, bring the record which is having a active status as active. I have added a filter to bring only the active implies, while the record that you're searching, that is inactive. So then you will ask the question, do you want to bring these reports also? Then you will remove that particular condition, and then all the active and inactive reports are also coming. Clear?
Yeah.
Now guys, suppose you have delivered this particular report, customer says that, okay, everything is fine, just nothing will be delivered in one shot. They will say that, okay, modify the template in such a way the heading should be blue in color, bold this thing, do the alignment. They will say that, okay, the data which is being getting fetched, sort the data based on the person number, sort the data based on this particular thing. They said that, okay, in case there is a implied record is coming which is not having a suppose you are supposed to get the email address, work email address. There are certain implies for which there is a work email address has not yet been created because these are the recent hired. Okay, then they will come up the requirement, okay, in that case, if there is no work email, please show the personal email of the employee. These are the different sort of iterations that is going to happen with the business user, with the functional user, and you will be working on to making those changes until unless the solution that has been expected by the business has been accepted. And until then, you will be working on to your report to deliver those particular sort of outcomes. Clear?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so guys, once you are done with those sort of things, these are the screens that you can come. Suppose we have made the changes, then we will click on to review. In most of the screens, whatever the changes that are being getting performed, there is a review screen is there that will list down which column has been changed, what was the previous value and what is the old value. So functionally users, they will be taking care of that so that they can review, because there has been lot of transactions are happening, lot of screens they are accessing. So they will be able to see like this, what are the fields which has been changed, that has been listed down that, okay, work category is the field which has undergo the change. Earlier value, current value is because whatever the values that you have done, it is not been saved into the system yet. right? Current value was null and proposed value is blue color because we have proposed this value. Same way cost center is the field. Current value was null and the new value is 101. That's how you will do the changes. And once that is done, you will review and you will do the submit of the transaction. Once you submit the transaction, then only you will see that, okay, the record is going to be having the same sort of records which you have updated. So now guys, if you done the changes, copy this person number. If we close this particular record, again go to the search screen and search for this particular employee again. Search, open this particular record, and now this time you will see that whatever the data that we have passed, that data must have been already updated and saved into the business transaction. Now the work category is a blue collar. Okay, clear? Clear guys?
Yeah, Piyush.
Guys, why it is happening? Suppose this particular person who has logged in into the system, he is going to have the access for this screen. While accessing the screen, he has the authority, he has the capability to edit the record. And once the person has edited the record, maybe there is no approval management is there. Suppose the person is doing the transaction and the transaction should be automatically committed into the system. So the first utility, very basic, we are going to learn all these things very much in detail, but just to highlight so that you can also do this sort of thing, searching an employee, editing an employee, changing the details of an employee, something yes to no, no to yes, and save the transaction and see, so that you will be having a hands-on experience, little bit confidence how to navigate to the Fusion application. Guys, there is under navigator there is something called tools. Under tools there are certain tools that we are going to learn. One of the tool is transaction console. Once you click onto the transaction console, guys, see, I have done, and I am standing into this particular tab. I am standing into the person screen. I open one more tab. In that I will navigate to different thing. This will give me to the transaction summary, all the transactions which are happening into the system. If you are the administrator of the application, you will be having an access for admin screen. This is the transaction summary screen, which will list down all the transactions which has been conducted by any of the user. By default, it will list down only the transactions which has failed. If you remove this particular filter, failed transaction, you will see that, okay, there is one transaction that one user, Kala.Kevin is the user. He did the transaction onto a record or test ABC MA. This user has been undergo some sort of changes. See, this is the transaction listed. Who has done the transaction? Transaction has done by Kala Kevin. What sort of transaction is status? Status is successful. What sort of transaction was performed, guys? The transaction was performed of manage employment. We were managing the employment record. Clear? Clear, guys?
Yes, Piyush, yes.
So guys, if you are an admin, that's how you will be able to track some sort of transactions are coming. As a technical consultant, you may be asked some ticket, some support project you are working upon, some HR manager, some procurement manager, some financial manager is reporting you that, okay, I have tried to create a new supplier. I have edited one invoice, but it is not reflecting into the system. So you, as a technical manager, if you have the access, you will come to the transaction console, check the transaction summary, check all the transaction which has been listed, and you will check that, okay, your transaction has error out. Why it is error out? You will download the logs, check and explain them. If the transaction is completed, you will say that, okay, no, there is no issue, your transaction is completed. You may need to just clear your cache and check the record again. Or you may say that, okay, your transaction is not reflected because it is pending for some sort of approval. Guys, there are certain transactions for which there is some approval has been defined into the system. In case there is an approval, if you come here, you will see that there is a transaction called, this is the transaction details. This is of this particular type, initiated by the user called scm.stable, and it has been initiated on 29th of April. And what is it is pending for? See the blue icon, time icon, in progress icon. It is pending for some sort of approval. Whom it is pending with? Assigned by assignee. Who's assigning? This user. The transaction is being assigned to this particular user. Okay. Suppose you are trying to edit a job edit is going for an approval and review by some user. Once that user will review and commit and approve the transaction, then only this transaction will be getting approved. Okay.
And Piyush, one is red color. It's not error out, I think. How to see what is the issue on that? Mittal one.
Guys, we are going to learn about all these tools and techniques in detail. At that time, we will be covering those things. It's very basic so that in the first level, you will be able to navigate to the application, looking into one particular screen, do search of the any of the employee, edit the things, and after you editing, you can go through and check some additional screen to navigate to the things. We will be covering how to all those sort of things. Okay. If you see there is a failed record, in progress record, stuck record, different ways we can do. We will, all these are hyperlink. If you go inside, it will give you more details. Some logs or the error message will be there into the things. If you see inside Sonit Mittal, somebody is trying to access and resign this record. It says the resignation rule is not working. There may be some supervisor. What has happened? This sort of transaction may be requiring some sort of approval. Okay, that approval will go to the supervisor of the person who's initiating the transaction, while the person who's initiating the transaction does not have a right sort of supervisor tag to their employee. So I am doing the transaction to terminate Rajesh. So Piyush Jain is trying to terminate Rajesh. The workflow has to go to the Piyush Jain's manager, who's Kumar. Okay, but for Piyush Jain record, Kumar record is not tagged correctly. So that is the error. It is saying assign a supervisor for Soviet Mittal. Maybe some error is coming because it is no proper data has been tagged as per the business rules. Okay.
Yeah, Piyush.
Fine, guys. So this is very basic about the applications that we are going to learn about. And talking about this particular screen, guys, as we are standing into this, if you want to go back to the home screen, this is the home screen that we will go into the home screen. Once we click into this, we will be landing into the home screen. Wherever we are standing, we will be landing into the home screen. Guys, if you are accessing any of the, you can say any of the website, any of the things, and you found that, okay, that particular website URL is very important and you are going to access that particular page regularly. Like suppose, guys, if I want to access one particular page, I have to log in, I have to click here, first click, then I have to go to the new person, second click. Okay, under that maybe there is one particular page that I'm going to access. Guys, do you have a hard stop after 10 minutes? Anybody is having a hard stop after 10 minutes, or can we continue for 5-10 minutes extra?
Yes, continue.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
continue for 10 minutes.
Okay, so guys, suppose you have to traverse to different screen by navigating into those screen like this, but you does not want to do that. You want that, okay, there is some page that as a functional user, as a hire, as a recruitment, I'm supposed to access one particular page regularly. So you can bookmark that page. How you can going to bookmark that page? Suppose you are coming to the work structures. Under work structure, there is a page called Joe family. You want to bookmark this page, particular page. So instead of traversing to this particular page, once you come to this particular page, you click onto this star icon. Once you start this icon, guys, it shows two things. Whatever the screens that you have recently visited as a user, that will be listed down. So suppose you have gone to transaction summary, you can click onto this star and directly click onto transaction summary. You does not need to traverse to 4 or 5 different sort of clicks to go to the transaction summary. Other thing is, guys, suppose you want to regularly access this page, you click onto this star and click onto favorites and add this particular page to favorites. Once you click onto add this particular page to favorites, you can structure the things, add a new folder and add the things into that folder and save that particular page. Now what you will see, if you click here, you will see that, okay, this page is added into your favorites. It doesn't matter where you're standing. If you want to access this particular page, you can directly go to the star and click onto this particular favorites, which is like your bookmark, and it will take you to that particular screen. Clear? Guys, let's understand, like, this is some sort of screen, as I said, that okay, whichever the business component that you're going to work upon, the screens are almost similar. Like, this is the search functionality. You will search for any sort of functionality that is there like this. If the records are there, that record will be listed down. See guys, these are the details which are there. It has been listed down. In case you want to delete any record, select this particular record. If you have the capability, if you have the proper rules, you see these buttons, you want to delete, you click onto this and it will be deleted. Guys, if this particular component, if you're trying to delete, this component has been referred somewhere else. Okay, so definitely suppose there is one job that has been created and there are certain employees who has been hired on that particular job, and now you're trying to delete the job. System will not allow. Reason is it says that okay, this particular business object job has been tagged to these 5 employees, although you don't delete this job, or although first you remove the association of this particular job from this employee, then only you will be able to delete the record, right? Clear guys?
Yeah.
Guys, suppose this is the search that you have done. System says that okay, some HR has come to you and they said that okay, please list down all the active job families to me. You will search like this based on their criteria, and you will click on to export, and this data has been exported, and you can share across this data with the business user. This is the rarest thing. Never it is going to happen, but this is also one of the facility available. But definitely, if just on the click of a button you are extracting the data, that means you does not have much control the data. Only the listed data which is there visible into the screen will be accessible. Only very limited number of rows can be extracted. Only very limited number of columns can be extracted, and there is no customization of the data extract that you can do. You cannot add some sort of filtering. You cannot add any sort of business logic or a representation of the data. You cannot add the logo of your company into that report. These sort of facilities are not there. Clear? Clear guys? In case you want to create a new business object, suppose this is the business object, you want to add one more sort of things, create button is there. Once you click onto this create button, it will take you to one particular form. So guys, you want to create, click onto this create. Once you want to create it, there may be certain fields which are mandatory. We will pass those particular field as mandatory fields. Okay. Rest of the fields which are not mandatory, if we don't want to pass, we don't pass, and click on to submit. As per business component, there may be different fields, different forms, different sections will come up. We will identify and pass those particular things and submit. Once it has been submitted, if there is no approval rules defined into the system, definitely what will happen, the transaction will get committed and visible and get saved into the database. And once you again search for this particular transaction, you should be able to search this transaction from the UI. Now if you search, you will be able to search this particular record. This record is there, you don't want to add it, but you delete or create, you want to add it, click on to add it. You want to correct the thing because the name that we have passed, wrongly we have passed the name. We want this XXXG sample. This is the correct name. And the code also we want to change, suppose like this. So we have edited the transaction into a correct mode and click on to submit. The changes has been submitted. Okay. Now if you want to search, you will see that okay, the changes has been reflected. If you want to edit this into an update mode, what has happened, this particular sample is effective from 29th of April, but you want that okay, I want to update. From which date you want to update? It will say from which date you want to update. You will say I want to update it from 29th of April 2016 2026. What do you want to update? I want to change the name as new. and save the things. So now if you're searching for XXFG something, if you want to search XXFG something, you see when we have created this record, we created from 29th of April. So if we go to 27th of April, did you able to search for this particular record? Will you be able to find this particular record, guys?
I think you will find Piyush because year 2026, then only it will update new one.
No, but we have created the first one itself is 29th of April, right? So before 29, this particular child has birth on 29. So before 29, this child does not exist, right? If this is a
You are
child component, right? So this is
correct.
the birth date. So the birth date should be 29. Then after 29th only you should be able to see. On 30, if you want to see, then yes, definitely you will be able to see the record. See this, okay, and we said that okay, on 30th of April 2026 the person record has changed. We have updated the thing. What we have updated, we have updated the name from XXFG sample to XXFG sample new. So see, I have changed the date from 30th of April 2025 to 30th of April 2026, and if I'm going to search now, what it is going to give me, it is going to give me the new name. So that is the date tracking. From this particular date to this particular date, the name is different, and from this particular date to this particular date, name is different. And guys, suppose now where I am standing on 30th of April, and if I want to delete, I am deleting the future entry. The now there in the database, two rows are there. One row is from one date to another date having a name as sample, another is with one date to another date having a row as a sample new. So I'm deleting a sample new record. If I'm deleting the sample new record, record has been deleted. If you again search effective from 30th of April 2026 only, so guys, if we are doing deletion of the one record, the other record which is already there, now that is applicable till 30th of April also. So this time you will be seeing the name is coming not as new, but without new the name will be coming up. Okay. Clear, guys? One more thing, guys, if you want to see, there is an advanced button is there. Once you click onto the advanced button, it will give you more options to search. Sometimes those you are not having a more details, you are not able to identify the things, but here you should have a different means that you can put it across the condition. Like you want to put that okay, something which is starting with XX, something which is not null, something which contains some keyword, something where the value is something greater than something. That's how you should be able to search for those particular sort of records. Okay. Clear, guys? Advanced search and basic search sort of functionality. So guys, why I'm explaining this? Because as a technical consultant also, while you are extracting the data, you are loading a data, if you have the understanding of this, even if you don't know the actual screens, but you have to work with the functional consultant, they have to navigate you to these particular screens. Before you start extracting the data, before you start loading the data, you will go and always sit with the functional consultant, ask them that, okay, show me which data is required, show me which data is available for which sample imply into the screen. It is very important that you should need to sit with the functional consultant and ask him that, okay, tell me one person number, one sample person number, and navigate me to the screen. Tell me in that particular screen, tell me the navigation, and tell me which screen that I am supposed to extract which sort of fields. Because based on those particular labels that you're able to see, based on those particular screens that you're able to access, you should be able to track and understand what is the actual table from where you are supposed to extract the data. Clear?
And Piyush, one more thing, if we add wrong data in this, so that will be accountable, na? So without knowing the wrong data, we cannot enter, na?
Come again, I didn't get your query.
Here, any field, if you don't know anything, so you would have entered wrong data. So it will be recorded in a transaction console, na? So you will be accountable to if adding.
Transaction console is not supposed to accountable that who did what. Okay, that is not your job, guys. Think through from the perspective of a technical consultant. You are never going to own any data. Okay, creation of data is a responsibility of a business user, neither functional user, neither the technical user. The person who's using the application, they are creating the data. If they are hiring an employee by putting wrong date of birth, that is not your responsibility. You are supposed to extract the data, you are extracting the data. They are reporting that, okay, for this employee, date of birth is coming wrong. Sorry, it is coming wrong because there is a wrong entry into the data. Okay. Definitely, if they want, if their supervisor says that, okay, I want who has created this data, I want to report that data, who has done this missed transactions and all, they will get back to you. Then yes, each of the tables are having a who columns, like who has created the record, who has updated the record, on which date it has been updated, on which time it has been updated. Those columns are there. By looking into this as a technical consultant, you should be able to understand who has done those transactions. Okay.
Yep.
Other than that, guys, one more thing, once you are accessing any sort of a screen, as you see, this is one of the screen, all the data related to the person may not be available here. So here in any of the screen, any of the business object, you will see this sort of notepad, which is a task. If you click into the task based on your access level, based on your responsibilities, based on the roles which has been assigned, the authorization that the user is having, you have this task list. In that task list, multiple different screens are available, like person screen, their salary screen, their absence screen, their individual compensation screen, their employment screen, their work relationship screen. Different screens are available. We are not supposed to learn about these particular screens. Okay, it's just we are supposed to learn that, okay, that's how we can access different sort of screens. One screen and all the child screens related to that screens are can be accessible by these particular tasks. Okay, fine, guys. If you,
This, this is relevant to this particular person number only, na? You'll going to
yes,
access.
once you access any of these particular screens, suppose I want to access the person screen, this person screen will be a child screen related to this particular person only. Person screen will give you the details about this person only. See, this top header is always this person. Under that, this will give the person details, like what is the name, what is the marital status, what is the date of birth, what is the gender, what is the address. Okay, suppose you want to see one screen, that is his salary screen. Suppose you come here, if you have the access. System is a bit slow, guys, please wait.
This will be helpful to check the report, all the columns, no? So you are
Yes,
looking.
yes. So what has happened? Suppose this is one of the screen. Suppose there is one of this screen. So what has happened? The report is required. Business has asked you to create a report to get the person details. In that person details, the functional consultant should need to come and tell that, okay, in this particular screen for this particular sample employee, you need to get which detail. You want to get their first name, last name. They should need to show. You need to get their primary mailing address detail. You need to get their date of birth details, and you need to get their gender and marital details. In addition to that, you want to get their salary. What is their latest salary? So they will come and navigate you and show you this particular screen so that you will get an idea that, okay, the salary is there. Then they will say that, okay, you have to get the address absence detail, that, okay, what are the absences they have applied for. You have to get their job grade position details. So by looking into this, they will tell that, okay, for this particular person, these are the details that you are supposed to fetch: position, job, and these 4 details. So that's how they will explain to you. By once they are going to explain you, you understand that, okay, there must be some table associated where the actual data is stored. If you identify that table, in that table, what is table containing? Table contains rows and columns. So which column that you're interested in? There must be some column that is having a start time, end time. The column name may be work category. The column name may be position name, job name. Something you should be able to correlate by looking into the data from the front end and by comparing the tables from the back end. Clear?
Do you have
Guys,
access to
wait,
data?
just 2 minutes, then I will take up your queries. Guys, very important questions that I have come across. Anybody is from the EBS background, if we are opening this particular form in EBS, we have about this in OF page, or we have something in the top right side, and we have the view query sort of functionality. For that particular page which we are opening into EBS, we will be getting what tables is being associated, what is the executed query associated with that particular page, which is going to bring you the data. That facility is not available here. We don't know what was the written SQL query behind this particular thing to get this data. There are obvious reasons. First of all, you see the capability of the tool has increased in multiple folds. It is not like EBS 5, 20, 30 fields. It is hundreds and thousands of fields. For that, big query is not possible. Secondly, in EBS, that is an own premises application. This is a cloud-based application. Everything has been hosted onto the cloud. For the security reasons, Oracle has not exposed those sort of queries associated with this particular page that are getting triggered to get you the data because of the security reason. If they have given you the provision to showcase that real-time query which has been executed to get this data, if there will be a high possibility that there will be some sort of injections into that query to loop through and dismantle some data or play around with the data or hack the system data. That is the reason that in the UI, there is no provision, no tool is available that you can click and see what is the associated query associated with any of the forms of the screen. Clear? Clear, guys?
Yes.
Fine, guys. Now that is what I have planned. This is very basic. Okay, we have not yet started with Fusion technical course. I am just giving you the very basic hands up about the application. Over to you guys. If you have any queries, I will address those queries. Otherwise, we can close the session. And tomorrow onwards, we will be starting with BIP. BIP will roughly take 5-6 days of class. From scratch, writing an SQL query, what is select statement and everything, we will be going to start from tomorrow onwards.
One question here. So with Oracle Fusion applications, we don't have access to the backend tables and all, right?
Everything we have, we are going to learn.
Thank you.
Fine then. Any other question, guys?
Okay, Piyush, no problem.
Sure, patient.
Guys, anybody who's yet to enroll into the classes?
If you
Guys,
did it,
everyone has. Fine, everyone.
You will explain your patch update, all these things also, no?
Come again.
Patch updates, those things also you will cover, no?
How patch update is related to the technicality?
I mean, payroll patch update. That's what is that?
That
Even I'm. That's what I'm asking.
no, that is nowhere related to the technical work.
I mean to say that what is the upgrades is happening in the quarterly basis. So what is our portion will be there, right?
Nothing we need to do, nothing we need to do as a functional or technical, but as you have put it across this point, please keep a note of that. We will discuss and cover all these details in detail. Okay. Because these are whatever the things that you are asking, these are like a sidetrack sort of things or a sort of delighters. If you are going to speed up the things and cover the actual portion, I don't mind to cover and give you the real-time work environments, real time of work that we are going to work on to these sort of additional things. Okay. Don't worry, all these things can be discussed and put it across during our discussions. Fine. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Push.
Thank you.
Take care.